Okay, I'm streaming live now, so if you guys want to go to my page and stream from there, you're welcome to do so. I just spoke with Mr. Best. He'll be on in just a second. We'll be starting in just a moment. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand by. Good evening, Real Browns.
Good evening, Mr. Galco. He didn't hear you the first time you were muted.
Mr. Willie Brown, you want to tell jokes until Mr. Best gets on?
Sure. There was a white guy, an Italian guy, and a black guy. The platform is live, right?
Yeah, we're live right now.
All right.
We're live.
I'm letting my people know. Text your people. Text your people. Let them know to get on.
People. Everybody, too, if you're watching on my Facebook page, please share this out. It's going to be an extraordinary live stream. Mr. Ty Best is always thinking. And so he should be starting the Freedom Call in just a moment.
Thanks for that. Give us a break, please.
All right. There we go. Hey, folks in Facebook land.
There we go. Okay, welcome everybody. Man, we're doing something different tonight for real. Okay. I think Tanisha Glass will be joining us in a few minutes. Okay. And let's see, we got Valerie here as well.
Hey, Valerie.
Hey. Let's see. Miss Abram, can you guys hear us on the free conference call line? All right, man, we are ready. Let's see. And I'm on Facebook Live at the same time. Hello, Mr. Treadwell, Miss Rhonda Gale Turner, H2 in the house, Ruth Rayford Jones, Jacqueline Anderson, Lord Kingsley. Lord Kingsley on the line, man. Go to sleep. Daryl Johnson, everybody. So Okay, and of course we're here live with, oh my man, I'm talking some superstars here tonight, boy. We got the real Browns in the house, got Delco in the house, got Miss Tanisha Glassman in the house, and we got Valerie Shelp, man. Look, you understand? I got Valerie here. I had to give her some coffee, some caffeine, some coffee, some Coca-Cola, a couple codeine shots, but she she's been running all day today, man. We've been out today talking to folks, having a good time, and so she had a power nap in the car, so she's ready to go. We done had dinner, lunch. We've been dating all day today and talking to folks and doing three-ways, and we're doing everything. But today I want to do something special tonight for everybody who's joining us on the call. We're going to be literally 1 hour. We're not going to do a marathon tonight, but I want to do something special. We call it a freedom call. So what I want people who will join us, please invite everybody. Invite everybody you can to be on this live stream, because tonight we're going to talk about this thing called freedom. This is called a freedom call. And what I want you to hear from us, a group of people who've been free now, who are free to do whatever they want to do every day. They decide, not the boss, okay, not the weather. They decide what they would like to do with their time and their life and how they would like to invest their time in life. So I don't want to take a lot of time. I'm not going to go on a tirade here. I'm going to start by saying, of course, you know Mr. Dalco, you know the legendary Mr. Dalco right there on the bottom left of your screen. For those who might be new, I'm telling you, folks, invite everybody to this thing. Hey, my nephew's on the live stream. Hey, Eric Stewart, how you doing there, sir? We got, okay, Mr. Willie and Sherry Brown. Sherry Brown, you're looking magnificent. Got your hair did. Yeah, got your hair done. I'm telling you, I see you. And look, and then, of course, we got Tanisha Glassby here. And Tanisha, you just did a phenomenal launch meeting there at 8 o'clock. It was incredible. I'm just sitting there. I'm going, man, you guys not leaving me anything else to do. I got to create something else for me to do so I can stay an active part of this team. I got to create something, because I don't like coming behind you guys. You guys too good. I'm going to tell you something else about what that training call. I looked at it, I said, bam, I have got to get plugged in, man. I have got to get plugged in. Rodney Berger, Mr. Rod, they have done so much that website. I don't know half the stuff on that website. I'm telling you. Look, I'm just saying that training thing was incredible. Go ahead. I'm sorry. You want to say something? No. Okay. Tanisha, that was awesome. I'm back there. I'm looking at all the audio things back there. I can just touch them and hear them in your car. I said, man, I have got to catch up with this 21st century technology. I think that website, I've been talking about it, but I'm talking about really not knowing how powerful it is. When you finished tonight, I was like, man, if you just plug in, you can become successful. So thank you for that, Ms. Tanisha Glassman. And of course, Will and Sherry just tore up their power call this morning. And then, of course, I feel blessed tonight to have my lovely girlfriend and wife of 44 years with me tonight. You got to understand now, Val and I have done this entire business together since April of 1983. And we've done less together in Caribas because of some challenges she's had physically and stuff for the last 5 years since we got in Caribas. And so you haven't seen a lot of her, but believe me when I tell you, she understands this business. She knows what we're doing. She's actively involved. You just don't see her all the time. So we do everything we can right now, trying to get super strength so we can all be at Let's Go Weekend Manifest on April 12th. And so I'm just glad to have her here. So I'm always thankful because she's a big part of why I'm free. She reminds me every day when I want to complain about something. When she asks me to do something, she says, just remember now, if it wasn't for my dedication, my commitment, you still be working a job. Okay? Because she flat out.
Exactly.
She flat out.
Not exactly.
Worked, and she worked. She did. That's what's way. She was free at 32. She didn't have to do a thing, but she still worked tirelessly because she wanted to help me get free. Mm-hmm. She was dedicated, committed to helping me get free. And so, all those on Facebook, I hope you hear that. So, look, I want to start the call out by saying, let's start with the Browns. Can we start with the Browns tonight, Mr. Delco? And I would like Willie and Sherry Brown. Willie been a free spirit for a while. And so has Sherry been a free spirit since she was born. Okay, she might have had a few jobs in between, but no job could hold it. She probably had about 35 jobs. Because every time she got a job, she had to be cut loose. Okay, because free people don't do well at jobs, man. We get fired. We get fired. We get asked to leave.
She's psychologically unemployable.
Right, we were unemployed from day one. So anyway, Will and Sherry Brown, talk a little about freedom for folks, will you?
All right, you gonna tell them first?
No, you go ahead, Vic.
When Sherry met me, she became free.
And he still didn't know I was already free.
But no, I've been an entrepreneur for a long time, so you know, I've lived this life for a long time. It's been a blessing, been a real gift, I would say, you know. But I'll tell you what Care Bars has done is really solidified my position. It helped me with my business, my comedy business, because it just made everything more solid. So like, I mean, another stream of income, you know, me and Sherry. So it just really helps make things better. Man, it's awesome. I would tell people say, well, why are you doing that? You know, and they don't get it. But like, you got to have something to do after you retire. I mean, from whatever it is you do. Like professional athletes, when they finish playing basketball, they want to keep making that money they were making up here. They're going to have some kind of business going on. Residual income is where it's at. So I knew that was very important. I knew that it was necessary, and it works out perfect because we got the time to do it. So we have free time, but we don't squander our time. We work, but we get up when we get ready, and we stay up late. We work wherever we are. As long as we have this phone right here, we can work wherever we are. It doesn't make a difference. We don't care. As long as I get to an airport, I'm good. You know, it's a blessing, man. It's just that's freedom, and it's getting better and better and better every day. So, like you always talk about, whether you want to do the 40-year plan, or you want to have a 2 to 5 year run to freedom. I'd rather go for the 2 to 5 year run to freedom because we're experiencing it right now, and we're in year 4. And we're already free.
And exactly, you know, Mr. Best, is funny because I have been free from day one. You know, my family, my grandmother on my dad's side was an entrepreneur, you know, so I had experienced that at a young age. And I have had about 35 jobs. And I just realized why I had so many jobs. I mean, you saying that made me realize why I had so many jobs, because I was searching for income. I was searching for where I could provide for what I needed, but I didn't want to be bound. And that's what on a job, I was bound. And even though I would do my job 110, I go above and beyond to do my call of duty, you know, without the pay, because that's just who I am. But yeah, I really needed something that was going to allow me to be creative. And that's what I did on some of my jobs. If they did not have a position that I liked, once I got in the house, I was going to create one. I created several positions in different companies and pitched it to the manager, and it's like, wow, that's good. Yeah, why don't you go ahead and start that? Mm-hmm. So that worked great for me. And for those that did not allow me to create my own position, then I had to say next because I needed to be who I am, you know. So, but as my husband stated, you know, when he met me, was I working, babe?
Yeah, you were working.
Yeah, I was
not
working.
for long.
I was working, you know, and had a job and all those good things, but I was missing out spending time with my husband because my job required me to be there. I think when I met you, I was doing a second shift job, which was like 3 to 11, which was the worst shift that you can have. You know, because once you get home, 45 minutes to an hour drive, maybe, you go to sleep, you wake up late, you know, and then you don't have time to do anything really before you have to go back into that job at 3 o'clock and do it all over again. And sometimes I even pull double shifts. I'm talking about working from 3 to 11 and then from 11 to 7 straight, you know. And so Mr. Willie Brown, as you guys know, it's so funny how we address each other's name as Mr. Willie Brown and Mrs. Sherry Brown. But my husband, you know, he would be going to his shows and he would be in the Bahamas and Barbados, and I'm at this job and I'm like, something wrong with this picture. this is not how that's supposed to work. You know, but what worked for me is that the last company that I did work for, I had flight privileges. So I fully took advantage of that. I turned a $10 per hour job into an unlimited amount of income. Because anytime you can get on a flight and book that flight last minute that would cost you $2,000 to $5,000, you know, have a quick turnaround, then that was a blessing. So I took advantage of that and used that my job. I let my job finance my trips so that I can be in the Bahamas and Barbados. And so guys, what we're telling you with what we have with Karatbars International is that let your job, when we say let your job finance your future, you can actually do that. You can do that by working just as hard for yourself as you do for somebody that you're working for. You know, it's going to take dedication, it's going to take commitment, but in the long run, it's worth it.
Yeah.
It is truly worth it.
You know, I had a friend years ago, he was in the business of entertainment, and he told me he was a comedian in DC. Chris Thomas was his name. He was the mayor of Rap City. Some of you might remember him, but very funny guy, does impersonations. He told me, he said, Willie, he said, if you really work hard at this, he said, you could do this full time. He told me that was about comedy. He told me a long time ago, I was working for Xerox. He said, if you start working harder, he said, you can do the comedy, you can do this full time and make a living. And I believed him, and I did it. I know what you could do with Karatbars. I know you can do it. You just gotta treat this like you would treat your job. You have to take it serious. You have to look at it. Don't minimize it. Maximize it. This is real. This is big. Man. What is your dream? You can do it.
Man, yeah. Can I ask you guys a question?
Dream big.
Dream big. Okay, I love it. I love it. Let me ask you guys a question before. Let me ask you. I was going to go through everybody else, but let me ask you guys a question first. Give us an example of what your typical day or a typical week might. Just say a typical couple of days. What you might do during those days. I mean, I'm not saying you don't have to go into my new detail, but what is it like to wake up whenever you feel like? Because I know people think you might sleep to noon, but when you're free, you don't really want to sleep there. You want to get up.
Exactly.
You're free. But what's your typical day like?
Sherry gets up earlier. She gets up early. She's up at like 7. I don't know why.
6.
6. I'm not getting up that early, but unless I really have to. But you know, by 8 o'clock, I'm up, and she starts making. Well, I go in the office. And I look at what's going on. I start to put my text blast together, and I post on Facebook every morning. I mean, you guys know I pretty much post every day, at least 3 times in the morning. How hard is that? I mean, come on. It's not digging a ditch, crying out loud. All right, and then by that time, a little time goes by. I get my morning devotion in, you know, my prayer and stuff like that, and read my Bible or whatever. And then next thing I know, it's almost time for the power call. I try to break away, but I'm so taken by what we're doing, and people, you know, start hitting me up, and I start responding back. Next thing I know, it's almost 10:20. It's time to do a live stream, let people know, get on a power call. By that time, Sherry's bringing me breakfast upstairs. And we're eating breakfast, and then we're on a power call to 12:15 or whatever. Mm-hmm. And after that, I'm trying to get to the gym if I can. Sometimes I'll go to the gym and I'll listen to the power call while I'm at the gym. Sometimes I'll stay home. If I stay home too long, I won't go to the gym because I don't feel like it. But if I go early, I'll go. And then I'll go to the gym. I'll come back. Sherry's downstairs doing her thing. She works from downstairs. I work upstairs.
And that's because Mr. Willie Brown talks really loud, Mr. Michael Dalco. I know you can relate.
Yeah, I talk loud all the time. I'm always talking to her. I'm in the same room.
Hey, Mo.
I gotta go out. I can't work in here. You're too loud.
Yeah, so we have separate offices within our home. And and the reason why I get up early, I mean, once you get older, you know, that's your, you know, that clock just goes off, you know, but by the time my husband gets up, I've done a lot of stuff that I needed to do without him being up. Because once he get, you know, what's funny about when it's talking about telling a joke, Mr. Dalco, I didn't knew that my husband was going blind when I first married him.
Fine.
He was going blind. And now there's evidence, because it's always, Sherry, have you seen my socks? Sherry, have you seen? I mean, I'm like, darn. Yes, Sherry, have you seen this? And have you seen that? And even our oldest daughter, LaWan, she's like, how do you do it? You know? Well, it comes from being married. Both of us have been married before. So when you take that, what we call 16 combined 19 years of marital, 29 years of marital experience.
Yeah, you can't throw that other marriage out the door.
Exactly. You take,
you learn something in that marriage.
you learn. So you take that 29 years of marital experience that we've had together, and you just like,
Marital bliss.
hey, your marriage becomes better. And that's no slight to our exes that maybe even come onto the streams, because we're friends, you know. But what I'm saying is that anything in life that you experience and you look at maybe a downfall, take that thing and turn it around, you know. So I do a lot within the first couple hours before
Sherry does a lot. Honestly, I gotta do better. Sherry does almost everything.
Well, that's a marriage symposium, so we're not here we talk about freedom.
But I'm on the phone though. I'm on the phone.
It is freedom, guys.
Yeah,
You're free to be yourself and do what you want to do.
Exactly.
And whatever works for you, and you work things out. And I think one of the things that really helps a marriage is when you got time to talk. You got time to spend time with each other. I mean, I think this is a big part of business. A lot of couples can't build a business because they can't get on the same page. A lot of people can't ever build a business because they can never get on the same page. And by the way, and sometimes networking this business helps them finally get on the same page. As long as they actually have something in common to talk about. So, I mean, I think that's a part of the freedom process. So I'm not, you know, I don't think we're off track here. I mean, I know for those hardcore businessmen who come in tonight to hear some facts and some figures and some numbers, you had the wrong call, okay? Because tonight we're talking about freedom, and freedom is an elusive, nebulous kind of thing. Because most people don't know what freedom is. You talk about freedom, they don't know what we're talking about. That's why I asked, what's your typical, what time do you normally eat breakfast or lunch or dinner? Because your schedules now, do you lose track of the days of the week? Those kind of things. You don't know what day it is.
All the time.
Last week on the call, I think you got the days mixed up about 3 times on one call. I said, yeah, that's the person. And I understood it. Because that's like once you get free, man, you ain't tracking the days like that. So
you're not. And, you know, and it's amazing that you said that, you know, when you are free, you want to get up. You're excited about getting up. That's why when you have a job to go to, you push that snooze button like 3-4 times and you're dreading to get out of that bed. But when you're free and you know you can set your own day, you set your own schedule, you're excited about getting up and getting started. And that's what you have to do as an entrepreneur. You know, as a business owner, you got to take responsibility for your own business. You know, this is not no plaything. No. I mean, we're not on a merry-go-round. This is real life situations. And because of Carrot Bars International, it's amazing how Mr. Harold Seiss has structured this for those of you that are married, where you can have 4 incomes coming into your house. Because you can have a personal account and a business account each. That's 4 streams of income that's coming in your house with just 2 people. And then we have 1 person working 3 jobs. Right. Come on now, which one do you want? Which one? If you guys would just hear us and what we're saying, we're not trying to get you into this little thing where if you come in with us, then we're going to make all the money. Tanisha Glassby probably making a whole lot more money than I am. I can guarantee it. I sponsor her. You know, I can't see exactly her back office, but I can be analytical like Mr. Dalco. I know how to add up some numbers and things.
But I bet I say this, I guarantee you're still happy for her. You hope she make more. That's the beauty of this business.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? You hope she make more. Say, make more, keep going, let's roll.
Exactly, because I am a little older than she is, so if I ever need somewhere to go stay, you know, I know.
Has some rich friends. You have some rich friends. You have some friends to go stay. Hey, look, I want to slow your go a little bit because we got to hear from somebody else real quick. Look, Mr. Delco, I know Mo just left the picture, but I wanted to take a quick minute and a minute. Let's see. Let's go. I know we heard from Mr. Tanisha Glass, but we want to have that Tanisha Glass. We talk about freedom. But let's do this while we got Mo there because Mo is as loose as Val. We get Mo cameraman. We better take advantage of this while we got it. Okay, so let's go to the Delcos for a minute, if you guys don't mind, and hear from the Delco family. Because I'm telling you something, I'm so excited. Glad to see your beautiful face, Miss Monisha and Mr. Delco. I knew Mr. Delco, as they say, was a salesman. The first time I met you, I said, that brother can sell.
Big time.
I said, that brother can sell. I know he can sell. I
learned it from
that
you.
brother got skills.
I learned it from you.
I said, that brother, no, you had skills long before you met me, brother. Okay, so, hey, let's welcome Gold Director Elites, legend in this lifetime, the Delcos from Atlanta, Georgia. Good evening.
Good evening,
everybody. Hey, everybody.
Good evening. And
What's
Miss
it like
Valerie,
to be free?
Miss Valerie Best, you are looking magnificent.
Yes, you did.
Man,
you.
your hair is just
Your
radiant.
smile.
You
Well,
look
thank
amazing.
you.
And
This
see,
is my natural hair color. I just stopped
I
dyeing.
love it. I love it. I tried to dye my hair for a while. I started graying when I was 23, and I tried to dye my hair for a while, and it was a waste of money because about 3 days after I dyed, it was black. First, it was crazy. It would turn yellow. Yeah, you get that? You know, folks know you dyed your hair. And then the other thing is, I think when people get older, they should just go with it because I know I dye my hair black and my beard would turn gray faster. And if you wear a little tank top, you got a little gray chest hair, you look crazy. Just go with the old thing. It's cool. Old is cool.
And I spared my bathroom too, because now there's no black dye everywhere. So it's much easier.
I can't do it. Well, so you look fabulous. And so good evening, everybody. I'm honored, first of all, to be on Mr. Best's legendary Freedom Call, because this is an iconic call for anybody that's been looking for a way to take your life and your, not just your business, but your life and your own personal development to the next level. I mean, this call will help you in every area of your life. We're doing something a little bit different tonight, but as a general rule, the Freedom Call is a life-changing call. It's like reading the best-selling novel on personal development every single Wednesday night. And I have not missed a Freedom Call since Mr. Best has been doing them for Wealth Builders Worldwide. And it has changed my life in ways that I can't quantify. If I started trying to name it, Mr. Best would yank the mic from me tonight. It has literally renovated and just completely revolutionized my life, my thinking, how I treat other people. The business my success in the business became a byproduct of Mr. Best's tutelage, his mentorship, and the Freedom Call. And I mean it. When people miss the Freedom Call, I just like, okay, you're missing out on the number one foundation piece of your business, because I have found that this business grows in direct correlation to you. It'll grow like you grow. And a lot of people, they see the facts and the figures and the numbers like I did when I first got into business. I'm super analytical. That's why I was a mortgage banker. I like to crunch the numbers. But that is not the most important thing in this industry of networking. And it's definitely not the most important thing in carrot bars. The most important thing is how you treat other people. Mm-hmm. So that's my story right there as it relates to being on the Freedom Call. I didn't mean to go that in depth about it, but I love freedom. It is paramount to my family. We've got some amazing testimonies going on right now. I don't know how much we'll divulge, but we're teaching and preaching freedom to our children. They're getting frustrated with jobs right now. They don't want to work for anybody. And that's because freedom is ringing in the Dalco family. If I think about it, maybe out of our 5 kids, blended family, maybe only one has a job right now. And that's my oldest daughter. She's a captain in the Air Force. And if she wasn't on contract with the United States government, she might not have a job either, because all I talk about to our children is a better way, a better way, a better way, a better way. And we say it so much until they start itching on their job. It's like, they don't treat me right. I don't like them. They talk to my sister like she crazy. I ain't playing with that. And they get a little disenchanted with their jobs, and rightfully so. Folks, I'm not here to bash jobs. But if you let me talk long enough, it'll sound like bashing, because truly, when you have a job, you factored in with the light bill at that company. And they're always looking for their bottom line to increase. And that might include getting rid of you. People say, I love my job. That's great. It's great that you love your job. But you just better hope your job never stops loving you. Mm-hmm. They might not love you. They love what you can do until they can find a machine to do it better and cheaper. Machine doesn't take any days off. You don't have to pay it any insurance, right? And with that being said, you know, Mo may or may not want to jump in, but we've had a lot of tragedy and a lot of adversity over the last 5 years. You know, sometimes when I talk to people, they say, you know, I got a lot going on. I can't really do the business right now. I got so much going on. You know, my mom is this. And look, let me tell you, networking with Carrot Bars is not in the way. It's not something that's going to impede your life. It's going to be that thing that saves your life. If it had not been for Carrot Bars, I don't even want to think about, I don't even want to put a word to where we might be. The first year, my first year in Carrot Bars, it took me 103 days to replace my full-time income. That was March the 3rd, 2014. March the 3rd of this year will be 5 years of freedom for me. The first year in, before I had made a full year, my oldest son got into a shooting incident. He got shot 4 times with a 9mm. One bullet punctured a lung, one bullet severed his ureter, one bullet hit on the other side, and then the final bullet severed his femoral artery, and he lost both his legs. He lost a significant portion of his intestines. He wasn't going to be able to work anymore. And he needed critical care. He still does every single day. He wears a colostomy and a nephrostomy bag. He's got some serious challenges for the rest of his life. And every day, he was in a coma for over 30 days. And thank God for Carrot Bars every single day, for most of the day, every day. I was right there at his bedside waiting for him to come to. When he came to, I had to break the news to him that he didn't have legs. I thank God every day that I put forth the necessary effort so that I could get free, because at that critical, tragic time in our lives, he needed me. He still does. And I'm so grateful, forever grateful, that we have created a legacy and a lifestyle. And see, people talk about the money and stuff. The money is secondary to the freedom. The freedom is everything. I mean, you can't really be free without the money, but here's the beauty. You can get free before you can get rich. You get free, you meet your income. And when you hear from Tanisha Glaspie, she'll maybe tell you this, you can make half as much from home as you do at work, because you get all the tax benefits that you couldn't get from working a job. Working a job is the highest taxed part of the quadrants of income. You get on your own business, you're making the tax deductions like a major corporation. So you can earn half as much. You don't have the wear and tear on your vehicle. So we had that blessing to be able to be, my wife and I were there all the time. The family would come and we were right there. And then right after that, my mother, the very next year, my mother had a bout with Alzheimer's and dementia. She had an event, an episode, and she was in critical care for mental illness. And I was able to go there every day. This business is a godsend. For people that say, I don't know if I can do it or not, yes, you can. And then a couple of years after that, an 18-wheeler tractor trailer decides he wants to come over in the lane where my wife was driving her car. Literally tomorrow, she has a surgery. Tomorrow morning. Still dealing, a year later, we're still dealing with the circumstances from that accident. And so freedom is not just good for our family. It was mandatory. We didn't have an option. But the challenges and the adversities we've had to deal with, if we hadn't had Carrot Bars, it might be lights out.
Carrot Bars has afforded us the exceedingly abundantly above all we could ask or think. And this time is like none that I could have ever imagined. And I'm extremely grateful. I had a good job. I had great benefits. When we needed to be off for all of the tragedies that Michael just shared with you, I was able to get off. I was able to work from home. I was able to work from the hospital. But in the midst of all of that, I felt like my job owned me because I still had to go back. I still had to keep doing the work. I still had to get those projects done, by those drop dead deadlines that were established by those, who were in seniority. So I felt like they owned me, even though I had a lot of benefits and a lot of reward came out of what I used to do. Carrot bars and freedom. We are constantly in awe. We are constantly in awe. We wake up every day talking about carrot bars. We go to lunch talking about carrot bars. Some aspect of this business and this organization is always on our lips, whether it's helping somebody else, whether it's the gratitude that we have to have said yes when the opportunity presented itself, even though you were 2 weeks, 2 weeks late on that initial.
Oh boy, what a story.
But yeah, that turned out to be a benefit in itself.
Can I jump in? I didn't want to tell Monisha I was in the business because I had done so many businesses. I imagined that she would tell me no. I didn't want to tell Sherry and Willie about the business. But Sherry, stop. I already apologized, okay? I didn't want to tell them about the business because in my head, they were burned out. And so, guys, we have all these misconceptions. Throw that junk out. Networking with carrot bars is a better way. Go ahead, Monisha.
I was just going to say on the freedom, freedom aspect, freedom has given me an opportunity to dream. My mind used to be so filled with clutter. I would come home trying to release the tasks and the mental strain from the day, from work, and I couldn't because I was constantly thinking about what I had to do when I got in the next day. So my mind wasn't free to imagine and to dream and to call forth the energy that was needed to grow and expand and to see those things that I desired manifest. My mind wouldn't allow me to do that. I get to spend more time with my children.
Oh man.
Which has been an
absolute blessing. I wish you could share that. I don't know if you can, but I wish you could share that.
About what we just did.
Yes, it's on you. It's to your discretion, but I love it. I think it'll help a lot of people.
So
y'all can tell she's the boss, right, Mr. Best? She's in charge. So I have to ask her for unlike Willie and Sherry, I do everything around the house because this is a queen right here. I can't let her do anything with this accident that she's had. She's not able to do a lot of stuff. I mean, guys, I'm telling you right now, you need to chase this dream. You need to chase this freedom because stuff happens. I was walking down the steps, Mr. Best, and I had a basket of clothes in my hand, and I almost slipped. And I looked at the step. I said, I can't afford to fall. When you get older, life gets more critical. You need to order your steps. I'm telling you, and chase this dream because at some point, as Mr. Best taught me 5 years ago, you're going to get old, and God forbid, you're going to get sick, and you're going to need a residual income that's going to pick up the slack. So go ahead.
So my daughters are very independent, and they like to contribute to their livelihoods. We give them things, but they like to contribute themselves to making their lives as best they can, considering their age and what they can do. And both of them on 2 different occasions came to us and said, they felt like they were being taken advantage of. They were in school. They're not right now. One is trying to get a real estate license, but nevertheless, the point is, long story short, they were really stressed on their jobs. So both of them came to us individually and, in tears, spilled their heart to us. And we were able to say, don't worry about it. Come work for us. So they have flexibility, freedom to do the things they really want to do. Meaning, like I said, my daughter wants to be a real estate agent. Well, go to real estate school. Don't be stressed out by, you know, the stigma that's associated with you got to go to school, you got to get a degree. She was stressed. And I don't want her to live the life that I led when I was growing up, having to go to school, having to get a degree. Jobs are not as readily available as they used to be when I was growing up. But you're settling for something that you really don't want to do. She was miserable. Both of them were. So we were able to say, quit, turn in your 2-week notice and come work for us or work with us in the family business. And so they're both doing that right now. So they had an early retirement party.
Yeah.
So we're extremely grateful for the opportunity to walk in our freedom desires.
You're leaving what I say is a legacy of freedom. Not just a legacy of freedom, you're creating a legacy of freedom where, can you imagine that 50 years from now, your family, your family, maybe extended family, would never know the idea of having a job. They were born free. I mean, see, I met people like that when I first got in corporate. I met members of the Ford Motor Company family who were 37, 38 years old, finally decided to go to work. Finally, I'm in class with them. They finally decided, so why I decided to join the family business at 40 years old. Never had a job, worth $30, $40 million, and had never gone to work. So that expanded my thinking. And what you just talking about is creating a legacy of freedom. So we're going to get back to everybody, but look, we got to bring on, Mr. Doug, you want to add anything else before I bring on Ms. Tanisha Glaspie?
I guess last little thing is let's go the other side of our lineage and let's go to our parents. And our parents, they live good lives. Papa is a big old dude, man. He's like 6'7", 280 pounds. He was a big basketball player, big sky hook, you know, serious basketball player, Mr. Best. You have to meet him. And he's got this big deep voice and he laughs and it rattles the house. It rattles the house. This is a big jovial guy, but he's confined to a wheelchair because his cartilage in his knees are gone and he can stand up a little bit. He can still drive, but he's 83 years old now. And every year in January and February, he and Mama go to Florida and they stay in a timeshare. And so this year, we know when their birthdays come, we throw $100 bill in the card and they know it's coming. They open the card like they don't know there's some money in there. It's always so funny. They're like, you know, oh, money, you know. And this year, so we said, Mama and Papa are leaving. Let's blow their minds. So we got a big stack of hundreds and we gave it to them. And they didn't really look at it, you know. And then Papa said, Betty, hand me that. Let me count that. And he starts counting. And he gets to 500 and it was still a bunch more money. He said, and he gave us a number. I don't want to go through all that. But he said, this is X amount of dollars. And I said, yes, sir. And he and Mama, they was like, they just looked at each other with this, I don't know what it was. It was an awe. And I don't know how they felt, Mr. Best, but I know how I felt. That feeling, it could have been a multi-million-dollar, that was a multi-million-dollar feeling. To be able to do something for your children and do something for your parents, knowing that you've put in the work that not only impacts your life, but changes the life of previous generations and future generations. Freedom is what it's all about.
Well, can I mention one other thing? And I know we're going to get to Denisha, and we got to hear from Ms. Valerie Best. But Mr. Delco, I know you didn't mention your mother, and I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but I know you're doing things for your mother as well. And see, I attended a seminar in 1991 that talked about the baby boomer crunch would be, as we mature into our 50s and 60s, we're going to be getting it from both sides. Our children, like Ms. Monisha just said, coming from one side, and our parents on the other side, and we're in the middle. Now, I was told this, I sent a seminar from a financial manager from Money Magazine saying this is what the future holds. And I was only 40 years old. And I have seen this in my own life. I've watched this in your life and other people's lives who called me and said, man, I got my parents on one end, I got my kids on the other end, and I'm catching it, okay? And so Carabas is the answer and solution. So did you want to address, I mean, I know you're in a special situation with your mom, but if you don't want to, that's on you. But I know you're doing a lot of things to support and encourage her and help her as she matures, or as my man says, as she seasons.
Hopefully I won't snap when I talk about this. My mother's a great pastor, awesome woman of God. And I saw it happen with my grandmother. My grandmother pastored a church, two churches actually. And when she got to the close of her life, there was no one there but her son, my uncle. He was the only one there for her. And I had seen it happen. I told the church that I wanted to start putting some things in place. They didn't really listen to me. I saw some early examples of what could happen. They thought I was trying to usurp authority over her. So as a result, they didn't listen to me. And it sort of like, it crippled me. It handcuffed me to be able to make a difference in that situation. And when everything started happening, well, guess what? It was a repeat of history. But because of carrot bars, my brother moved up here from New Orleans. He and my sister-in-law, God bless them. They are amazing. They're in carrot bars. They're VIPs in the program. And they're able to stay there with my mother and with no federal assistance and with no church assistance. She has no retirement because, you know, those Pentecostals, they don't set up retirements and things. They think they're going to preach till they die. But things can happen. Things can happen. And because of carrot bars, me and my brother, my sister-in-law, my wife, we're able to take care of mom when she needs anything. My sister-in-law called me and say, brother-in-law, I need $250. Boom. We don't have to think about it. See, the thing about money, guys, everybody thinks about money. You either think, thank God, or oh God. That's the deal. It's either oh God or thank God. But everybody thinks about money. Which one do you want to be, oh God or thank God? 80% of the people that work in America live check to check. The Dalcos have had a lot of problems, but money ain't one of them.
Mm-hmm. All right. Hey, well, thank you, folks. And now we got to hear from the diva from the West Coast, Miss Tanisha Glasser. Please come up and talk to us just a little bit about freedom and what freedom means. I'm seeking we get you on the big screen here, or you guys get on the big screen because I'm holding up my cell phone because people say, man, put them on camera so you can see them. So for those who are on my live stream, I apologize for that. You know, I'm an amateur in this technology stuff. So Mr. Tanisha Glasser.
Hey, Mr. Best, tell you're doing great. Tell them if they want to see the full screen, they can either go to goldrocks.info or they can go to my Facebook page, not to take any shine from yours. You're still the best. Right. But they can go to my page and I'm streaming it from Gold Rock. So either way they want to do it. You can go to Mike Delco's page or you can go to goldrocks.info and you get it as well. Okay. Or if those who are uncomfortable with that, just sit here. I hold this phone. I play Steven Spielberg with it. I'm going in. I'm going out. I'm doing all kinds of stuff. So Miss Tanisha Glass was just incredible. I wanted to share her story with you because this sister is just amazing in every way. And she's just one of many. But man, just to see her blossom and grow like she has the last 3-4 years just blows my mind and tells you what can be done when you make up your mind. Good evening, Miss Glassby.
Good evening, Mr. Best. How are you?
I'm wonderful.
Good. Hi, Mr. Delco and Mo and Miss Sherry. That's my sponsor, y'all. Miss Sherry Brown. Hey, Mr. Willie Brown.
Hello,
so I just found out like 2 hours ago that I was going to be on here. Like Mr. Best just pushed me off the edge again.
Hey, that's how we do you, Tanisha. We throw you in at the last minute. That's how we do you.
Yeah. So I don't know where to start. Miss Monisha made me feel some kind of way because I was your daughter. I was a single parent at 18. I worked 3 jobs. I worked at Equifax, I worked at the bowling alley, and I worked at Kroger just to try to provide as a single parent. That wasn't enough. And I realized at 18 that the corporate world was not for me. I didn't like people telling me when I could go to lunch, have to tell somebody that I need to go to the restroom. I felt like I was a slave. So I'm like, nope. At 18, I knew this was not for me, but I didn't know any other way. I didn't know what else to do. So had some friends that were the barbers and cosmetologists and stuff. And I'm like looking at them, okay, they make a lot of money. They look like they're doing well. Let me go to cosmetology school. So I was a barber for about 5 years. I did have freedom to kind of come and go as I pleased, but I was working 12 to 14-hour days to make the money that I needed to make. So I had no life. I had good money, but I had no life. And I also had no benefits. So now I'm like, okay, I have the money, but now I need benefits. So a lot of my customers were men. I was a barber. So a lot of them drove trucks and they were making like 6 figures. So I'm like, oh, okay, there's some more. There's money over there and they have benefits. So I went to truck driving school. I drove tractor trailers for Quick Trip, delivering fuel for about 15 years. That was okay. I liked the job early on in my younger years. It was cool, but I still had no life. So I have money, but I'm always at work. So I can't enjoy the money. I was working at least 14 to 18-hour days then, every holiday, everything you could think of, because I needed the double time, the triple time. I needed it all, but it still wasn't enough. And I couldn't figure out, okay, why am I making all this money, but I don't see it? So then about 15 years into that, I woke up one day and I couldn't walk, just out of nowhere. I'm only in my 30s. Like, I'm not old. What's wrong with me? I had no idea what was wrong with me. Couldn't walk for about 5 years. So I was open to network marketing because I had actually been with another company for maybe a year, and I did okay. It paid my mortgage at the time, but it wasn't a lot. But still, it opened my mind to network marketing. So I knew there was a better way. I just didn't know how to find it. I didn't know. But I got into another company simply because I wanted the products. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I hated talking to people. I didn't want that part of it. I didn't want to have to do network marketing. I just did not. So I understand people that don't. I just wanted the product. So I got it and it worked, and people were like, wow, what are you doing? And I told them, this is what I'm doing. And I started making money doing it. And I started making more money than I was making working. I'm like, okay, I got something here. I did that for about 4 years and it was good. Now, all during this time, I'm working on my master's degree as well. So I obtained my master's degree, majority of it as a single parent. I got my master's degree to find out I was making more driving trucks than people with degrees do. So I'm like, okay, this makes no sense. Why did I just waste all this money to get a degree when I was making more without one? Lesson learned, kind of, but I still felt like I have to do more. This master's isn't enough. So let me go get my doctorate. I was getting ready to go to medical school for naturopathic medicine. But something was like tugging at me, like, should I really do this? And I know to listen when I feel that. So I started praying for I'm like, if this is what I'm supposed to do, I'm going to do it. But if it's not, give me something else. I need an answer. I need a better way, because I started thinking, why am I going to spend another 5 years in school to graduate with $250,000 worth of debt to get out and then have to work for the rest of my life to pay the debt off? I'm going to miss my children's life, more of it. I already missed a lot of it, working and going to school at the same time. So I'm going to miss another 5 years. They're pretty much going to be grown by the time I graduate. What's the point? Why am I going through all this? For what? So I was praying, and I needed a way to make money while I was in school, if I was going to go to school, because I was going to be on call 24 hours a day and different things. I couldn't work. I would be doing this for free until I graduated. So I needed a way to make money without going somewhere. I needed a way to, I wanted to I was losing money in my 401k while this is all going on. I lost thousands of dollars in my 401k. And I wanted to get the rest of it that was left and put it into gold, because I started thinking about, okay, I'm getting older. What am I going to do when it's time to retire? This is going to be gone by the time I need it, because it just kept going down. So I wanted to take it out, put it into gold. So I was praying for a way to get gold. And then I just started thinking about, what if something happens to me? What are my babies going to do? I don't have anything to leave them. So I needed a way to leave a legacy. I was praying for all three of those things, and I was looking for them in different areas. I was looking for ways to work from home, online. I was looking for insurance. I was looking at insurance and all this other stuff. And I actually got an insurance plan that I have now canceled because I don't need it anymore. And I was looking out, I had like Charles Schwab and Fidelity accounts looking for gold. I did everything. I researched everything. And then as I'm getting like a few weeks away from getting ready to go to medical school, and I'm getting ready to sign my life away, $250,000 in debt, I get out of my prayer closet literally at 2 a.m. And the first thing I do is get on Facebook. And the first thing that came up was, would you rather have paper that burns, and my 401k was burning, or gold that doesn't? Register for free here. I didn't watch the video. I didn't ask any questions. I just registered. It took me 30 seconds to register. I registered. I just thought I had another account like Charles Schwab or Fidelity or something like that. And that's it. I just thought, okay, well, I'm going to figure out how to get gold through this. I had no clue what it was. Mm-hmm. And then Miss Sherry Brown called me the next morning and she was like, I saw you registered late last night. And she told me, about it or whatever. And I'm like, oh, okay. She said, get a package if you want to make money. And I'm like, make money? I can make money doing this? And that was it. I got my package and the rest is history.
Wow. What a great, that's just certain parts of that, Miss Tanisha, I didn't know, like the part you couldn't walk. We like guys, y'all gotta understand something. Like this screen is a big old family. I know we talking business and freedom, but we all love each other. Like I see Sherry tearing up over there. That's her girl. Like that's her little baby sister. This is family. And that testimony right there messed me up.
Yeah, and you know what, Mr. Dalco? Because I'm listening, and a lot of things that, I did already know because we have that connection, Tanisha and I do. But to hear it tonight just messed me up. And the reason why it messed me up like it has now is because this what we have is so simple. I'm listening to her, going to school, getting her master's, getting ready to get her doctor's degree, driving trucks, owning her own business as far as being a barber and all of this. And here, I had a son at 15, didn't get my diploma, went back to school to get a GED, got my GED, but knew how the workforce worked and I could work myself through their system without even having the diploma. Going to school later in my later years to go and have the college experience. And that's what it was. It was just an experience and a high price to pay. But here I look at my life and I simply just posted a message. And by connecting to what you had introduced me to, Mr. Michael Dalco, now I was able to share with someone that went into a prayer closet. And God used me to answer somebody's prayer without even going to school. Not knocking education, but you can learn from so many different formats in life. And he used me to answer a prayer that someone else would consider her above my pay grade level, above my education level, above and beyond who they might think that I am. But God will use you. Will you be used by him just to be an answer to somebody's prayer? Will you? I'm done.
Wow. Look, thank you, Ms. Sherry Brown. I'm telling you, I know how it feels. I know it's all the time. Carabao is way bigger than the money. You can't think you understand Carabao until you watch the 15-minute video. But I have accepted the fact that everybody can't get involved, and God won't allow. I don't want to get spiritual on you, but I don't have explanation for why some people can't see this thing and some people get it right away. Why Tanisha Glass will come out of a prayer closet, take 2 minutes, sign up right here, and be in and on fire, and somebody else will study this thing for 2 weeks and can't get it. Okay. Anyway, with that in mind, thank you, Mr. Tanisha Glassby. I thank you for the call tonight. And look, and with that in mind, I want to bring on my queen and let her chat a little bit about what freedom's meant. You got to understand now, she's been free since 1987. I mean, think about that for a minute. I like the joker said, my wife got free. She hasn't had a job since Ronald Reagan was president. Think about that, okay? And the knowledge that comes, I tell people all the time, I said, you can't build wealth until you get free. When you get free, Monisha talked about that. When you got that job, your mind is too cluttered. That's why they want you to have a job. You're too cluttered to think. You don't have time for critical thinking. But when you become free, you have time to think. So with that in mind, while we say no more, I want to bring to the platform my wife, who'll be 40 years, March 10th of this year, who I met 19 years old at Hampton University, HU in the house. Bro, gotta sneak that in there. Always gotta sneak it in there. Met her at 19, walking across that campus. I said, man, I think I like that girl. Okay. I mean, that was freshman year. If you can, I mean, I know it sounds like a romantic story. Think about this now. I'm in my first class. And this girl walking with this big Angela Davis type fro. And I said, man, she cute. I said, she cute. I'm gonna talk to her one day before I leave here in the next 4 years. Now, I had no immediate plans because I'm not making this up, folks. This is not a hindsight story. I'm gonna say to myself, because she learned the kind of girl, she'll lock you down. Okay. She'll lock me up. She want to get married. Now I say that freshman year. Okay. And we didn't start dating till at 19 years old. I finally asked her, I said, is there any way I can get some of your time? And she said, why, sure. And so far she's given me 44 years. I just wanted to date. Okay, I just wanted to date. But so far I got 44 years. It's been 44 wonderful years. Here it is, Miss Valerie. Best say hello to everybody. You can say whatever you want to say, honey, talk whatever you want to talk about. I'm just gonna make this camera work.
Okay. Hello. I know. Yeah, that's a good story. Yeah.
Real, right.
No, it's the truth. Okay, you might want to ask me some questions because I'm.
Okay, I got to get you on this camera too. Okay, there we go. You look at that camera. I get you on this camera. So anyway, you retired at 30 years. Well, first, give me a little background. Where are you from?
I'm from Massachusetts, about a little south of Boston. So I grew up on the South Shore, and my family background was my parents were both into civil rights. They were very active, and I guess the organization asked my parents if they would like to be the test family and help integrate this town. And so consequently, we were the only African-Americans in the entire town, which means I was the only African-American in the school system, which left me lonely and isolated because not everybody was ready for that. And I was just one person. Okay. And so, but it made me tough because I learned how to be different and hold my head up high, even if I was different, even if I got chased and harassed and other things that I'd rather not think about. But what was good was I got, in that school system, I got a very top-notch education because, Massachusetts, they're very serious about education. Okay. And so from there, I thought, oh, education is the way to go. But nobody ever talked to me about education except I had this one guidance counselor. It was real nice. He was Irish man. He said, look, you need to go to college. Okay, because if you go to college, get your degree. Now at that time, this was true. You could get a good job because corporations were getting pressured to hire women and different minorities. And he says, if you get your college degree, you'll get a good job. So I did. I got my degree, and at one time I was working for Ginn & Company during the time off during the summertime. And they were a subsidiary of Xerox. I think Willie said he worked for Xerox. So Ginn & Company was publishing. And that's where I learned how to, do things, edit, and became a junior editor, publisher. And anyway, so when I finally graduated from school, there were no jobs for me. I got a bachelor degree in education, but everybody was getting a teaching degree. So there were no jobs. So I took a job at the bank. And horrible pay, nice people. And what happened was the lady used to come in with her daughter's check, and it was big, big at that time for me. I'm like, whoa, she's got an $800 check. I'm making like $400 a month working for the bank and working full-time hours. And I said, what does she do for this money? She said, oh, she just, looks pretty and sashays up and down the aisle of the plane. I said, I can do that. So I got the job with the airlines, and it was a great job, but I was never home. Okay. I was always traveling. It did some damage to my hearing because, at the time you had to do all kinds of things to let the plane, the stairs down the plane. And it did damage my hearing a little bit. Okay. So I'm told. And so but I liked it, but once I had my first baby, who is now 33, Alex, okay, I did not want to leave. Okay. And I mean, when I left home, and I would be gone for 7 days, because working for the airlines isn't like working a regular job. You don't just 9 to 5 it. Sometimes you had to work 600 extra flight hours a month. And sometimes I'd be gone 2 weeks straight in a row, and I know it was really devastating, because one time I came home and I reached for my baby and he lunged like he didn't know who I was. That really broke my heart. And I said, I can't do this anymore. I really want to stay home and raise my son, so my son will know who I am. Okay. Not look at me like, who is this strange lady that I haven't seen for like 10 days? And so then when we got introduced to network marketing right away, I mean, all I knew was, Tyrone came home and he says, jumping up and down like a crazy person saying, look, we're going to make a lot of money doing what? I said, I don't know. I said, what do you mean you don't know? He said, I don't know. Okay, we're just going to make a lot of money selling these products, soap and this. Okay, now whatever. I'm pretty much a whatever kind of person. Okay, just
ride and die, baby. Ride and die.
Ride and die. Okay.
Ride and die.
Okay. So from there, I think, how long did I work?
About 2 years.
2 years,
After
and then after we started networking, and I became free. But then it wasn't any fun.
4 years. I'm sorry, 4 years, from 83 to 87.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I left in 87, and then I said, you know what, this is nice, but I really want to be home with not only with my baby, but with my husband. And so we worked to get him free. How long did it take to get you free?
Another 10 years.
Another 10 years. Okay, mostly because that's why CarePlus is such a great opportunity, because it's so lucrative. Mr. Harold Seitz he puts together, we've been with lots of companies, and as a company owner, he's doing well himself, okay, but he's also thinking about us. What can I do to make the compensation better for the field, for the people out there? Okay, and believe me, we've encountered all kinds of company owners that weren't like that. They were always about just them, and they couldn't care less about the field. So that's what I love about CarePlus, that he's always thinking and innovating how to make it better, And every time it makes it better, even like Ty said before, he said, oh, geez, I didn't know that. I mean, I remember a couple of months ago, he was saying, why do I have more money on my card? And I said, I don't know, Tyrone. And he said, oh, because of this, because some enhancement.
I said, let me call Mike Delco and ask.
Yeah, Mike knows. But anyway, I don't know what else to say except look.
Well, let me ask you this. What was your first couple years of freedom like to you? What was it like? Just obviously one day you didn't have to go to work anymore.
Well, the first 2 weeks, I'm going to be real honest, I slept. I just slept because I wasn't used to it. I slept for 2 weeks. It was like I was trying to catch up. And then after that, I was like, okay, I get up, and I can't say I make breakfast because nobody likes the way I cook. So
you're not the cooking house.
I'm not the cook. Okay. But I would get up, and I would, just sort of do things with the baby. We'd get up and we'd watch, Fraggle Rock, and we'd watch Seabird and all the little stuff, and I danced with them because I'm really good with kids. That's why, I actually was a kindergarten teacher for a little bit. I'm really good with kids and animals. Okay. And so that was just fun. Okay. And it was fun, but I realized my boo needed to be home with me.
And she, at that time in the 80s, folks, it was a lot of administrative work. I mean, it was a heavy workload at that time, especially on the women in the business, because they did everything. I mean, they did everything around the house. They did all the stuff administrative wise. There was no such thing as a computer. All that stuff. I mean, Val sometimes be up till 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, manually writing orders. Taking orders on the phone and manually writing those orders to 1 and 2 o'clock in the morning.
Because I had to look them up in this catalog. I had to look them up, and I have to do it because I have to write it all down because, I didn't have an easy group. Okay. I mean, what I think is so great about the organization of people that's with us, there's so many people that do so much, but the people that we worked with, they were they were rude, they were hard to get along with, and they didn't want to write the orders up. So I'd have to write them up because we wanted to get paid. So I would be up to 2, 3 o'clock, sometimes 4 o'clock in the morning, handwriting everything. And then then I'd drive Tyrone to work, and then I'd go to 3 different places to pick up products. Okay, I mean in California,
all over Southern California.
Yeah. Okay, I'd go from I'm trying to if it was Arizona, I'd be going from the Point in Arizona to
It's a lot of driving. It'll be all day process sometimes.
I barely
Okay.
I drop Ty off at work at 8:30, and then I get home. I drive in to pick him up about 4:30. I was going all day picking up products and lugging them heavy products, boxes to boxes of stuff. Okay, but no computer. So to me, I thought this is so much easier because everything's online. Okay, and you couldn't see things online. So we couldn't tell what our volume was until practically the last couple of days of the month. Okay, here you could check on a day-to-day basis. You can see where you're at. Okay, you can look at the on screen at your matrix, and people can't lie to you. They could try. Some people still don't understand. They go, "Yeah, I signed up," and you just click. They didn't sign up. Okay. But they could play that game with you back in that day. We had people tell us, "Oh yeah, we did this and we did that," and then when you get your report finally at the end of the month, you go, "Liar, liar, pants on fire."
Let me add something, Valerie.
Yes, go ahead.
See, I have to knock Val off the work because I say all Val, no. Val talked about the work and admittance because for the first 20 years in this business, that's all she did was work. I mean, she was free, but she spent a lot of time working. And look, almost every meeting went to 5 or 6 nights a week. She was in the car right beside me. In fact, Alice went to a lot of those meetings too. Okay. But then as technology started to ease some of the workload, I mean, for those who got to have a flashback, you got to understand that we got into business in 1983. There was no three-way calling. There was no VCR. The VHS hadn't even been invented.
Oh, that's right.
So if you want to show somebody your business, you couldn't see right now. By the time this stream is over tonight, by the time we finish in the next few minutes, we would have had, it's probably 10 to 15,000 people would see this message in the next 24 hours. Now, in 1983, 84, 85, 86, all throughout the 80s, that wasn't possible. You wanted to show a personal business, you had to hop in your car and drive across town.
Bring your board and easel.
Bring your board and easel. Bring your product. Okay, you carried $4,000, $5,000 inventory all the time in your house, in your garage. My inventory right now is in my wallet. Okay, and it's mine. It's not for resale. Okay, so imagine but once this technology started, she became freer and freer. Okay, to do what she wanted to do it. And she had a lot of fun. I mean, we made a lot of trips. We went to Bahamas a bunch of times. We've gone to Hawaii a bunch of times. I lost count. I don't know. 5 or 6 times we've been to Hawaii. They saw Hawaii video. Those who plugged in saw Hawaii. The last Hawaii trip we took with a bunch of people, we took 100 people to Hawaii. But Val has done experienced a lot of freedom. She's hung now the last, I would say, 10 years, 15 years, she's truly been what I call free to do whatever she wanted to do because all that product lugging, going out, technology allowed us to do a lot of things. Once the VHS been invented, everybody got it. And then Carabar's come along, and she's had the luxury of working on her health for the last 5 years, not having to do anything in Carabar she didn't want to do. And so this is really the first live stream she's done in 5 years, okay? And we'd have never believed it was possible to build this business and not have her actively involved on a day-to-day basis. But Carabar's allows you to have that kind of freedom. So she's been hanging out until the last couple of days. She wake up saying, "Let's go on another date." So we're on a date like 3 days in a row. I said, "Oh, she's starting to feel good." He's like, "Where you want to go today and eat, honey?" So, but anyway, anything else you want to tell them? I don't know what to tell them because she gets self-conscious talking about us because Val can talk about is the work. Val want to talk about the work, the administrative price we paid to get free. Even like when we built the house in Georgia, it was 7,000 plus square feet. Okay, Val picked it out. And she spent time. She got this vision for things. Okay, and the first house we bought in Georgia we bought it sight unseen. Val was going to visit father. He's talking about things you can do for your parents. That's one thing we haven't even talked about. And one of the joys of making money as business is things we've done for our parents that were this is 20 years ago we talked. It was, the first thing was, I think I've shared this story with you before, and Val can share with her father. Her father may rest in peace. The things when she was free, and the things she do with him all the time. A lot of times I'm on the road. I'm doing the business.
Tyrone Alexander and I would go stop at a Chinese food restaurant, bring food with my dad, and we'd watch Matlock and Law & Order because that's what he liked, and on a little teeny TV. And then we had got back then. Remember the big screens had just come out, the great big screen TVs, and he was coming over and visiting me and everything. And I said, "Daddy, why are you coming over here? It's baseball season." He said, "I want to see on the big screen." I said, "I'll tell you what. Go on down the roads." That was a store that was, I don't think they're in business anymore. I said, "Go on the roads and get you a big screen TV." So I said, I'll pay for it. It's okay. And so we went and picked it out. And I remember him saying, and he called me up, he says, well, they said I need a screen. I said, get it, Dad, just get it. Just, this was before, debit cards, you can do stuff online. I said, after you pick it out, I'll just come on down there and pay. I went down there and paid. He said, well, it's going to cost $50 delivery. I said, no problem, they're going to deliver it. When they delivered it, oh, my father was in hog heaven. Then I realized, wait a minute now, sometimes, because he was older, he'd fall asleep. And I said, well, you know what? We got to get you a VCR. So, that way when you're watching stuff and you fall asleep, you can just tape it and then rewind it. So it was really good. Also, one of the things I was glad to do for my daddy was, he loved yard work, but he was getting older. And one time, you know how hot it can get in Georgia. When Alice and I went to visit, and he was hopping up. I said, Dad, what are you doing? I was just mowing the lawn with one of those push doors. Okay, no. Thank goodness this industry. I said, just go on down to Lowe's, pick yourself out a riding lawnmower. I'll be down there and pay for it. And it was just great ever since then. Okay. I mean, and I'm glad I was able to do so many things because, I'm a daddy's girl, like you couldn't tell. And, I miss him. Okay. But I know he's still here in spirit. And because of this business, he was able to retire early, move to Georgia, and he didn't have to worry about anything. If I was around, he just said, Daddy, just tell me what you need. Okay. And we took care of that. And that's because my husband paid the price. Okay. And we worked it together. Okay. We had different roles. Yes. But this is what you want to do. Every spare moment that you have, just think about it. And the system is so fantastic. This is easy compared to what, the work that I like to talk about. I mean, you can do so much for so many people, just like Mr. Delco has done, just like Miss Gillespie has done. Okay, just like Willie and Sherry Brown have done for the people that they know. I mean, I know they're not even talking about it so they really could. Okay. But, it's great when I love how we talk to people and they go, oh, I'm good. And so, yeah, but what about the people that are they good? Okay, are they good? Okay, and that's what you need to think about. Just spend a little time, thinking about somebody besides just yourself or your immediate family. So I enjoyed this because I enjoyed being able to help people. And I loved the story. I didn't know that Tanisha had done some of the things she'd done. I'm like,
I can't even fathom Tanisha as a truck driver. That don't even compute in my brain. Tanisha Glass was a truck driver for like 15 years.
She was doing what she had to do, but until, like I said, we did what we had to do. That's why when you tell people about this, you're changing their life.
So,
Mr. Best, I want to say one quick thing about Mrs. Valerie because, we had heard her on the calls, calls all day. And she would make her cameo appearances, and as soon as her voice hits the line lights up, and everybody just freaking out. Oh my God, that's Valerie Best.
That's nice to say.
And so, Let's Go Weekend, I believe it was. You guys helped me out, but probably Let's Go Weekend 6.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was for sure Ms. Valerie Best, and she wasn't in the best of health at the time. Thank God she's looking amazing and ravishing and doing much better, but she wasn't feeling well at the time. And so much so till she couldn't even be in the actual meeting. And I just have this indelible impression of you, Ms. Best, making your way to the lobby just to greet people. You knew how bad we wanted to see you. And you figured out, you and Alex, to get you down in that lobby. And you sat in that chair. And when I first laid eyes on you, I dropped to my knees, not to be on eye level with you, but I literally felt this reverence and for your sacrifice to come all the way to Atlanta driving with your family just to see the people. You changed lives. You weren't in the meeting, but you were in the meeting. You got that big spirit and that big presence, and you made a difference. And so I don't know if I ever had a chance. People were crowding you out, and I was sensitive to other people wanting to get to see you. So I got up, but I needed to tell you that you guys left before I could say it. Thank you for what you did. Let's Go Weekend 6. You changed lives.
Absolutely.
Hey, thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Delco.
You're welcome. Thank you.
And look, I know we got like about 14 minutes left because we're gonna finish this call at 11:30. So we're not gonna. What I want to do is turn it back to Tanisha Glaspie to Mr. Dalco, Mrs. Dalco, and the Browns to see if they have any last words they want to say. Because, if I start talking, I go on a 10-minute tirade. Now, you guys have heard me talk about freedom for the last 5 years, so there's nothing else I can say except I live and breathe for freedom. That was my hot button. It wasn't cars, it wasn't stuff, man. All I want to do is be free. Okay, and my attitude was live or die free. Okay, that's all I had. That's the only thing it meant to me. Stuff don't mean the Escalades, Mercedes, all those things. What means everything in the world to me is this idea of freedom and doing what I want to do every single day and doing with the people I love. When I talk about a legacy of freedom, Mr. Delco talk about, Manisha talk, can you imagine, look at your kids, you don't have to work for anybody. Come work with us. Okay, my son's been working with us his entire life. It's so a natural part of our state that it didn't even occur to us that he had never even applied for a job. And the man's 33 years old. But it never even crossed our mind because it never entered our DNA that he should ever have to go apply for a job. And then Gabe, at 15 years old, saying, what is a job? He knew what a job was. That's nothing to boast about. Saying, when your mindset changed, you creating a legacy in your family where people say, no, 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 no. Okay, what's a job? We create jobs in this family. We create opportunities for other people. We help other people bridge and find that road to freedom. Okay, that's all I want to say. Look, let me turn. Let's start. Let's give Ms. Tanisha Glassby first before closing comments. Ms. Glassby, you want to say something, please?
Freedom is amazing. I don't know what else to say. Like, there's nothing like having to not get up in the morning if you don't want to. Get up when you feel like it. Do what you want to do when you want to do it. You don't have to answer to anybody. That's just, I don't really have any words for that. But you never know when something is going to happen to you. Like, I didn't know I wasn't going to be able to walk for 5 years. You need to have a backup plan. The government shut down. They didn't know that was going to happen. They needed to have a backup plan. You might get fired or laid off tomorrow. You need to have a backup plan. Even if you love your job, you need a backup plan. And there's absolutely nothing better than Karatbars.
Amen to that. And I got 35 years experience to back that statement up. So I believe that. It's not my flavor of the month. I believe it's the best I've ever seen. I believe it's the best that ever been created for the average person to transform their life into a life of purpose. And by the way, and make a lot of money along the way. So thank you, Ms. Glassby. Let's turn over to the Browns, the real Browns.
For me, freedom is not something I take lightly, and I'm very thankful for it. I don't take it for granted. And we do work. We do work hard, when we work. But
what, 30 minutes a day, Mr. Brown? Really?
you know how hard it is to post stuff on Facebook. You know how hard that is.
It's hard. It's a hard life posting on Facebook all day.
How hard is it? You know how hard that is texting people. No, it's not hard. Not like what the best family, what you guys did. I have much respect for you. I know because my uncle, he had been in the business for many years. This is our first rodeo, really. So I mean, we had a small stint with Mr. Dalco, and we learned
To plug in.
Yeah, and we liked it. What we learned from what we were doing, we liked it, and we saw that we could do it. Working with Mr. Dalco showed us that we could do Karatbars. That's what it was. And what's amazing about it, and I told him this at Sharon Vick's retirement party. Michael Dalco, he took us on his back, man, to leadership. I mean, it's amazing, man. I thank you for that. I mean, it's like a dream come true now when I look back. I don't even know how we got here. It's amazing. I don't know. But you just elevate, you evolved, man. You brought us with you, man. And I appreciate you, man. I love you. And Monish, I love all you guys. Thank you. Thank you for being with us. And you can do it, folks. You can do it.
Yes.
And you can do it. I'm telling you, I'm speaking from my heart. You can do it if you want to. Just get with the people that are doing it. And plug in, man, and humble yourself. Roll up your sleeves and give it your A game. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Fail your way to success.
Yes.
You can't lose.
Yes, yes. So every day
is Friday.
Is a Friday. Every day is a Friday. Come on, somebody. But you know, I just want to say thank you so much to Mrs. Best. Oh my goodness, you're so amazing. You're beautiful. You're radiant. I mean, your love. You can just feel your energy and your love through just looking at you at the screen on the screen. I can't wait to see you in person again and spend some more time. And Mr. Best, you guys, thank you so much for allowing us to be with you, here with you on this platform. It's incredible. But you know what's amazing about Carrie Bars to me is that the heart of Mr. Harold Seitz. I mean, the man's heart is for the people, and his vision and his desire is to eradicate debt from society. Now, first of all, you have to realize that society is at a different income level. This is why he has made this thing affordable. I mean, how much affordable can it get to register for a free Gold Savings account? It can't get no more affordable than that. Start there. I mean, it's free. We're not trying to trick you into anything. We're saying this is actually free for you to get started and plug in. And, you know, because everybody, speaking of freedom, your financial freedom is according to how much money you need. Again, it's at your income level. So I can't go off of what Mr. Best needs to run his household, Mr. Dalco needs to run his household, Miss Tanisha Glaspie needs to run her household. We go by what we need to run our household. You know, where we can be free. So that's all we're saying. We're not in competition with each other. What we're doing is giving you a way, a better way, a system that's going to eliminate the debt. That right there will make you free all by itself. If you could just eliminate the debt that we have and be like Miss Best. Miss Best, she pays bills ahead of time. Mr. Best be like, Val, quit paying your bills. We already paid it. And I'm learning to do that. I like to do that. I want to be able to pay the water because you're going to have utilities. You're going to have water. You're going to have electric. You know, but that's a goal, is to get to the point where I pay the water company out for 2 years, you know, and at the end of each year, they sending me a refund and telling me, stop paying us so soon. But guys, I'm telling you, freedom is amazing. Thank you very much. I love you all. Back to you, Mr. and Mrs. Beth.
Hey, thank you. And I'm going to say one thing that, you know, I was listening to you guys speaking. I'm looking at my fellow Hamptonian. You know, I've been in this business 35 years, and I'm really excited about my first Hamptonian multi-millionaire is Mr. Willie Brown. I'm telling you something, folks. I'm telling you, it's done. It's a done deal. But say, come on along, it's a done deal. Okay, and I'm excited. HU, thank you, Mr. Willie Brown, for seeing the dream, for sharing the dream. Yes, and he's bringing a lot of Hamptonians to see in the picture. We got some more Hamptonians to see in this picture too. So anyway.
And we also share you guys' anniversary date. Our anniversary is March 10th.
Oh, wow, gracious. Oh, wow, that's the same. Okay.
Yes.
Oh, man, we special.
We
got to do something.
And we were both mass media majors.
That's right. But same mass media major, same school. Hampton breeds good stock there. You done good, Sherry Brown. You done good too, man. You done good too. But you done good, Sherry Brown. They say, on a good man, get a Hampton man. Don't get me started. Don't get me started. Don't get me started. To the Dalcos, good evening. What you have to say, sir?
I'll start it out and let the best. I'll let the best. No, I do want you to say a couple of things, but you know, so many things that are hitting my mind right now. I was reading the chat room in Gold Rocks and Miss Sharon Vicks, who just became a free woman in America, and she made a statement. She says, "I get up early because I'm working for me now, and my new goal is to get Vic free, and I cannot wait for Vic's Freedom Celebration Party. I just can't wait for that." That was an awesome statement. And then I think about the first time I heard the story of Alex Best, who had never even applied for a job. I think that seed, Miss Valerie, got down in my heart. And when my children were talking to their mom and wanting to do this, I think that that seed that was planted in my heart from you guys' story gave me that extra courage. You know, I got this revelation when Monisha talked to me about what the girls wanted to do. I got this revelation and I said, when it hit me, it was the Spirit of God said to me, whatever you say, I'll expand it. It was like, if you say you want your children to work for you, I'll expand the income to make it come to pass. There is nothing, I'm telling you right now, I'm telling you guys, you listen to me. All of the restrictions and constrictions and containment that's happening in your life financially, it's in your mind. It is not real. It is not real. Those of you that are on that government shutdown, you can never go back. It's on you. Carrot Bars gives you immediate income opportunities, weekly income opportunities, and monthly income opportunities, and legacy income opportunities. You can completely resolve the financial issues in your life. It's one decision. I'm telling you, November 13th, I could have said no. I've got dear friends of ours that we talked to them about Carrot Bars. We've even had some people join, and they said no to going forward with this. You can say yes tonight. Monisha, you can close it.
I just want to say thank you so much for the invitation to be a part of this panel. I hope with all my heart that the purpose that was intended for us gathering together tonight, that the mission was accomplished. For those of you who are listening, freedom is just right up there next to oxygen. It is vital, if you are a part of Carrot Bars, that you do whatever you need to do to experience what we're talking about right now. And I can assure you that the Dalco household will never, ever, ever turn back. We're only moving forward. And we're going to set an example for whosoever will look, listen, and strive towards the freedom that we have been able to attain.
And let me say this real quick to Mr. Best. You'll like this. You know, I hope I don't look too smitten when she's talking, but it's because I adore this woman. And we're two peas in a pod, right? I adore her. The business made our relationship even closer. Man, I'm telling you, money problems, separation because he's one way 8 hours and you're another way 8 hours. Your children are raised by strangers. The culture is raising your kids. Ty Best said Alex has never gotten in trouble. I mean, because their parents, they had the benefit of their parents' influence on their lives. You gotta go for this. So that's it, Mr.
With everything you've got, go for it.
Hey, well, thank you very much. We're going to say, we got 1 minute here. Let Valerie say something. And I'm turning the camera around, Valerie. My battery even going low. My battery said low. Battery low. Valerie, you want to say a few words? And we're going to get out here and we're going to be done in like next 30 seconds. You want to add anything else?
Hey, just do it. Plug in, get on the power calls, plug in. Get on the trainings, and if you can't be on the power call when it's in real time, that's what the replay is for. Okay, you know, so just do it. You know, go to the website, goldrocks.info. Did I say that right? Okay, I get confused sometimes. Okay, and you can download and replay and follow the map because it is worth it. Spend that time. Okay, you got the time. We all have the same 24 hours a day. It just depends on how you spend it. Simple as that. Okay, and you can spend it watching television. See, that's what the TiVo and VCRs are for. You know, depending on how you do it. You know, but we'll tape a bunch of stuff, and we're still watching stuff. You know, from like 6 months ago. We go, oh, that happened. You know, okay. You know, sometimes we'll just take, when we're doing stuff, cold or something like that, and we'll watch it. So you could always, and they're always going to rerun. So you could just spend, invest your time. Don't spend it. Okay, it will be worth it. You'll be so glad that you did, because there is nothing like freedom.
Well, look, all I want to say, folks, is that, number one, I want to thank all the panel, Mr. Tanisha Glassby, the Dalcos, the Browns. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Ms. Sheila Abram, for hosting everything on the free conference, on the conference call line as well. I hope everybody was able to hear everything. I want to thank all those folks who joined us. I want you to understand, I had a choice too. My choice was freedom. It was get free or die trying. Okay, I never once thought about quitting. And no matter what happened in this network business, I never once thought, when the time I've been free, I never once thought about getting another job or getting a job. I've been free for 23 years. The ultimate dream is to get free. I wish in Wealth Builders Worldwide, the leadership, everybody you see on this panel, when Sharon Bix is free, she want to help her husband, help Ronald get free. Well, guess what? She's not helping to get free by herself. We all want to help Ronald get free. And we all want to help anybody on this call want to get free, but we can't do it for you, but we can help you get it done. That's what plugging is all about. That's why I'm on the power call every day. That's why we're here. That's why my wife is. And believe me, she's not the best of health. I guarantee it took a struggle for her to get here, to be here tonight, to sit here for the next hour, this hour and a half. And so I appreciate her. My thanks to her and to all the panel. Everybody dream big. Don't let anybody steal your dream. And the name of the game is freedom. It's all about free. It's not about stuff. You're going to get a bunch of stuff along the way. We're going to blast and manifest a bunch of stuff. We're going to fly us in the next 12 months, 24 months. We're going to do a lot of stuff. You want to see some realization stuff. But the main thing is about freedom. It's about owning your life, not that somebody else tell you what to do. So God bless everybody for being here. Thank you guys. Thank everyone on the panel. I hope this call meant as much as it meant to me because I am blown away. I can't wait to go back and see it. And I fought back tears through the entire call because I'm excited, just flat out excited for the lives that we've already touched and lives we've changed. As Ziggy was saying, helping other people get what they want, and you always get what you want. So God bless everybody. Good night. Be on the power call tomorrow morning at 10:45. Thanks again, Ms. Abram, for your help. Thanks again to the Delcos, the Browns, and Miss Tanisha Glassfree. God bless everybody.
Everybody. God bless you.
We're living our lives like it's golden. Living our lives like it's golden. Living our lives like it's golden.
Don't start no after party now. Don't start no after party. I know, look, everybody used to start an after party in a minute. We'll be at 5 o'clock in the morning. And Val got to go. I'm going my boo. I'm going to leave this panel. All right, guys.
All that dating y'all did. Remember, Gabe told us by 1890.
Who is that? Who's that dog? He wants to get on the action. The dog want to play too.
Oh, he's so cute.
Say, oh.
Spirit.
All right, guys. Thank you guys very much. I really hope everybody got some out of this because the name of the game is the dream. And that's what everything is all about. It's the size of your dream and getting free. So let's go help some other people get free. I'm out.